Zach with Web3 Reviews. Thank you for being with us. Today, it is Thursday, June 12th, and we're going to be talking about the crypto market. Let's go. Remember that none of this is financial advice. An XRP-powered company has made it onto the NASDAQ. Vivo Power, ticker VVPR, announces XRP-focused digital asset treasury strategy, and this comes with $121 million private placement priced at US 6.05 per share, above last market closing price under the NASDAQ rules. Vivo Power believes to be the first public company in the world executing on an XRP-focused digital asset treasury and decentralized finance strategy. And we're seeing a lot of positive comments. A lot of people saying this is going to look like a brilliant move in the next 2 years. The first and definitely not the last. And things are going down, man. We had a prediction from Brad Garlinghouse where he's standing there at Apex 2025. Brad predicted that Ripple would start doing about 10 to 15% of Swift's transactions for them. That's huge, man. Considering that Swift processes $1 quadrillion a year in transactions from 11,000 financial institutions, we see 15% of this volume going over XRP. We see efficiency going through the roof for the companies doing it. It's not going to be long before that 15% jumps up to 90. XRP is going for all the money. We're going for real-world assets tokenized on the blockchain. We're going for remittances. We're going for cross-border payments. We're going after Swift. And this is good from Not a Real Train. He says, from a guy that usually gives zero indication of how things are going and or price predictions, that was a rare moment. And it really was, man. If you can't see how close we are, then I don't know, dude. I mean, we're getting so close that we have David Schwartz tweeting the riddle straight from his account. He's no longer even caring about being an anonymous riddler. And we have Brad Garlinghouse giving us predictions on how Ripple is going to eat Swift's lunch. Swift is going to be giving up 15% of their business to Ripple and the xrpL over the next few years. And you know that all those partners that are not doing it are going to be asking themselves, why are we not doing it? Why are we allowing these other people to make more money off the transfers? The transfers are going faster, the customers are happier, it costs less, but the banks are making more. Come on. Swift is going to be like, no, they're circumventing us. They're circumventing us. Ghost Web3 reminds us that Watcher Guru made this post on all socials and then deleted it claiming they got hacked. He says, you have no idea what's coming. And let's look at this post. It says, this was on their Facebook even. So it went to Twitter, it went to Facebook. Watcher Guru said, just in, Swift nearing agreement with Ripple to use XRP for cross-border payments, with billions of XRP secured in escrow as liquidity reserves. Now, the conspiracy theorists have always said that Ripple and their 40 billion XRP, they were going to use that XRP in partnership, either with the US government or with Swift, in order to become that next financial player. And so we'll see what happens, man. I've always been of the thought that the lawsuit wasn't quite about the money. It was more about what's going to happen with the XRP that Ripple has. Because Chris Larson alone, man, when XRP goes to $1,000, Chris Larson's going to be a trillionaire when XRP goes to $1,000. And I'm unsure if that could happen. Of course, we have trillionaires in the Middle East. You know, there are people that are on the Forbes list. There are people that aren't even on the Forbes list. People with amounts that aren't total. There's always a fish bigger in the sea, even if we don't got that fish on the River Monster show. And speaking of real world assets in the blockchain, we have this post from Trust Wallet, which Trust Wallet is owned by Binance. And it says Trust Wallet is bringing tokenized real-world assets to 200 million plus users. This came across the feed, so let's look at it, man. Look at this. That dude, Reed. He's out here getting better, man. It's Thursday, June 12th. What are you doing to get better? It's inspirational, man. Keep going, Reed. And keep going, you too, okay? It doesn't matter what road you've walked yourself down, man. You can unwind. You can walk it back, dude. I don't care how much debt you have. I don't care how big you've gotten. I don't care what drugs you're addicted to. I don't care how much porn you're addicted to. Dude, Togi, he had this funny bit. He was talking about how he used to be addicted to steroids and weed and all this and that. And he said, 1 year later, I'm still addicted to all that, but now I'm just rich. I thought it was funny. You know, I don't know if you guys are following Togi, but he's definitely made a rise on social media from somebody who, you know, got really big and claimed to have made anywhere from $4 to $10 million, and then went on a bunch of these tax podcasts and realized he was going to have to give a bunch of this money back to the government or figure out something else. Ever since, his channel's been blowing up. So he must have figured out something else. Anyways, the point is that we could all get better, man. We all could. Now, hey, if you just want to give yourself a break, man, I'm here for that too. I believe in taking breaks, dude. I do. You got to give your body a rest, dude. Even Goku had to go sit in that fucking hyperbolic time chamber from time to time. Dude, and sometimes it's just your brain that needs a break. And that's the thing about our society is we don't get many breaks when it comes to work, man. You know, I think most of my channel is men, but we're out here working away, dude. We don't really have time to be fucking thinking too much. We don't really have time to be thinking too deep about shit. And that's why for me, man, all I try to focus on is my future value of my bags. How many tokens do I need so that way when Flare hits 50 cents, I'm feeling A1? How many tokens do I need so when Flare hits fucking $5, I feel like a king? How many tokens do I need so when XRP hits $7, I'm feeling good? What are your price points at where you're going to start taking profit, man? You got to have a plan, all right? You got to have a plan to take some money off the table and elevate your current life. Because what else is it for, man? What else is it for? You know, I heard a funny story at my job yesterday. My boss was telling me that we're getting a coworker coming on site who he's had an issue with before because the dude got into Forex and he was using some app on his phone while he was doing carpenter work in the field. And he was out here playing Forex, carrying around his phone, trying to make trades. Well, then the funny thing was one day, first of all, he told the boss it was all fake money and he was just trying to learn on an app that was teaching it. Well, then the part that the boss said was really funny was one day the dude shows up and goes, fuck. And they're like, what's wrong? And he's like, dude, I forgot my phone. The Japanese yen just flipped the US dollar and I lost it all. The guy was like, well, it was fake money, wasn't it? Like, isn't it all good? And the guy responded with something like, that's not the point. I was trying to do something. I was building. I was growing. I don't even know where I'm going with this, man, but it's just silliness, dude. You know, sometimes you got to put that phone down, dude. Don't be gambling Forex while you're at work, bro. Anything could become gambling. You could be doing options. You could be doing Forex. You could be gambling on the NBA finals. And I think that these are all bad moves with your money, man. I think the best thing you could do is just to buy FLR and Songbird, to buy HBar, to buy Algo. Get it on tokens that are going to be here in the next 5 to 10 years. Check this out. This is a 2-minute video from xrpL. It says tokenized treasuries, real commercial utility, on-chain access. ONDO finances Nathan Lallman. Shares by OUSG on the XRPL settled seamlessly with RLUSD as a milestone for institutions. This is how tokenization goes mainstream. So let's watch this video, man. It's a 2.5-minute long video.
It is fascinating how cyclical and wave-like markets can be. I've sailed competitively my whole life. Sailing builds mental toughness in responding to the changing tides, building in crypto. That's like a really important mentality to have. I'm Nathan Allman. I'm the founder and CEO of ONDO Finance. When we think about Wall Street 2.0, it's really about combining the best of traditional finance with the best of decentralized finance and public blockchains. With decentralized finance, and you have this sort of one-click sign-in to different financial applications. Frankly, for me, it was like a pretty magical experience to be able to self-custody all of my assets, and then with a single click, take out a loan from one protocol and then trade from another protocol. Ultimately, that unlocks more choice and more competition. And that's in such huge contrast to how things work in TradFi, where if you want to move your securities from one broker-dealer to another, it's a multi-day, multi-week process. At ONDO, we started out by building tokenized treasuries. In order to build institutional-grade products like OUSG, we really need to work with partners that have a focus on institutional grade standards and 24/7 instant convertibility. So we're really excited to finally be able to bring OUSG to XRP Ledger, the decentralized public blockchain, to continue to build institutional grade cash products alongside Ripple. That's something that a lot of our institutional clients have been really drawn to. It's about routing capital and assets to make a financial system that is ultimately faster, fairer, and more accessible to everyone. Tokenization is not just a pilot or a stepping stone, but actually has real commercial utility today. And we've seen that in the numbers, 200 billion plus in stablecoins, 5 billion plus in tokenized treasuries. And our offerings now between OUSG and RLUSD are used every day, constantly in production. We have real investors instantly minting and redeeming, in many cases, tens of millions of dollars at a single point in time. And this is that watershed inflection point moment.
And Vincent Van Code said, Ripple didn't see market react to initial post. Let's try again. I honestly don't know why no price action for XRP. And that's the thing, man. It's meant to throw you off. We're going to have a summer of pain. There's going to be no price action. And the whole time XRP is going to be fucking doing incredible shit, like being onboarded by every single institution in the world that gives a shit about their fucking financial future. Okay? And it's going to drive you insane. And you're going to think, man, I guess I'm in the wrong asset because it doesn't matter what happens. XRP is a stable coin at $2. It's going to be the exact same as the conversation we've had the past 6 years. Oh, dude, XRP is just a 50-cent stable coin. I don't care what Ripple's doing to lay the groundwork for the next rails of the financial system. Nobody cares because the price of XRP doesn't move as fast as they'd like. This is just like Amazon back in the day in the 90s. And dude, Ripple themselves has made this comparison before where they said they want to be Amazon of payments. Well, back in the 90s, Amazon's stock price was down 90%. People were shitting themselves. Meanwhile, Jeff Bezos said the company Amazon had more clients than ever. They had more customers than ever. They had more people onboarding to become clients than ever. Things were getting better. More things were going up for sale. The niche of just being a bookstore was no longer just a niche, and now they were selling more shit. Dude, look at this 25 years later. Amazon is motherfucking Amazon. You want something, go to Amazon. What's Ripple going to be in that sense, man? Ripple's going to be the Amazon of payments. What does that mean? First, they're going to master the niche of cross-border remittances. They're going to come after SWIFT. Then they're going to open up the floodgates, man. They're going to go after everything. They're going to go after tokenized treasuries, real commercial utility. This is all coming to the XRPL. That's all I got for you today, man. Until next time, thank you for being here.